It's another early morning photo shoot, and well, we're just going to have a play around and see what we can get. We've got pretty much clear skies, not very interesting seas, but we can have some fun anyway. I hope you'll enjoy the video. If you do and you're new here, don't forget to hit subscribe before you go. Good morning everyone, thank you for joining me. I've kind of been playing chase the weather forecast this week because every day I look at it and the weather forecast for the next morning doesn't look great, but the morning after looks good, and then so I delay going out for a day and then the weather forecast changed. So this morning I've just come out anyway, and well, pretty much completely clear skies. The sea isn't particularly interesting, but we'll see what we can do with it. I already stopped off this morning. As soon as I came out, I spotted something as I was leaving home and decided to shoot it. I don't know if it's worked or not, but we'll have a quick look at that now. Just as I was heading out this morning, I came past the lifeguard tower and I could see all the stars up in the sky. Very clear sky. Thought I'd try and grab a quick shot. Shooting at f4 ISO 250 in 6 seconds, and I think that's bringing out enough detail and not letting the stars streak too much. We'll give it a go. So right now I'm actually out on one of the breakwaters. Very simple shot, wide angle, right in the middle of the breakwater, looking out to sea. There's a little bit of tone across the horizon, and yeah, there's some, well, there's the moon, a crescent moon in the sky, but obviously it's pretty dark, so we're going to be looking at a long exposure. So that crescent moon is just going to blur into nothing, so I'll probably end up cloning it out. I decided to bump the ISO up to 200 to keep the exposure to 4 minutes, because you know, any longer than that's a waste of time with no clouds to blur nicely. 16 to 35 lens, 16mm. I've got a 2-stop hard-edged reverse ND grad on, just to hold back that bright part of the sky above the horizon. I've actually decided to do a second one slightly favouring the sky, just because higher up in the sky there's some quite nice clouds, and I'm thinking 4 minutes they might move quite nicely, and they've actually blocked out the moon now as well. So one more 4-minute exposure, then we'll move on and see what else we can do. checking the focus on the long exposure image, I could see in the scene that right out on the end of the breakwater there's a whole load of fishing rods, kind of almost in like a fan shape, and I can't see any people, just fishing rods. But I thought it might make for an interesting shot with a little bit of colour in the sky in the background. 70 to 200 lens on, 200mm f11, focused on the fishing rods. I can now see them pretty clearly with the naked eye, but just thought it might make for a slightly different image. It's kind of weird. Unfortunately, right in the middle of the breakwater there's an old wooden pallet sticking up, but I think I might be able to clone that out. That's going to be in the long exposures as well, but I didn't really notice it then. Because I want to get the end of the breakwater so it's just below the horizon and the fishing rod's coming up and breaking the horizon, I've had to put the tripod low down. I've extended that front leg out a long way because the rocks are all uneven and there's big gaps in there, so it's actually quite difficult to get a stable footing here. And yeah, this is the time when I kind of miss having a flip screen so I could just stand up and look down at it. Thought it might be an opportunity for kind of like a little intimate scene. There's waves breaking on some of the rocks on the edge of the breakwater here. Unfortunately, it's on the side that's not going to be getting light from the sunrise, just because of the direction of the wind. But I kind of zoomed right in. I've got the rocks going diagonally across the scene with one rock just off to one side. I'm using cable release and continuous high-speed shooting, and as the waves come in, just firing off a few shots at about what are we at, half a second, ISO 160 f11. Might look quite nice, bit of texture. Actually see one of the people out on the end there fishing now. I'm just thinking there might be a shot here, again probably telephoto, with the fishing people on the end of the breakwater and maybe with the sun coming up a bit further over on the left as it's just about to pop up above the horizon. Sun's well up, it's quite harsh, but there's a couple of boats going across the scene way out in the distance. I'm just hoping I can get them if they cross in the right place by the sun. Right, the sun is pretty high in the sky now, and I think I'm about done for the morning. It's starting to get a bit warm. I'm going to head home, get some breakfast, get some coffee, and see what kind of images I've managed to get, and I guess you'll already have seen them. I hope you've enjoyed the video. If you have, you know, the routine, likes, shares and comments, really appreciated and really helpful. They do help to grow the channel. And if you're new here and you've enjoyed this and you want to see what else I get up to, particularly as we get out of the summer and I start going further afield, then hit that subscribe button before you go. You won't miss any of my videos then. And as always, I really appreciate you taking the time to watch, so thank you very much. And until the next video, bye.